Good afternoon. My name is Jonathan Weinhagen. I'm the president and CEO of the Minneapolis Regional Chamber of Commerce. We're here as part of a growing chorus to say enough is enough with regards to the gun violence and crime that we've been experiencing in our city. We all know it's been a difficult year. A global pandemic, death of George Floyd, the civil unrest, and then in recent weeks, the unthinkable. 3 of our children in North Minneapolis, LaDonvia, Trinity, and Anaya, victims of gunshots in our city. The business community has rallied together to create a $30,000 fund, a reward of up to $10,000 per case for information leading to the arrest of these individuals. We're joined today by leaders from across the city and the community, as well as family members, to share their stories. I'd like to now introduce Mayor Jacob Frey.
A big thank you to Jonathan Weinhagen and our Chamber of Commerce and our downtown leaders and philanthropic community for stepping up during a time of need. And I want to give my deepest thanks and gratitude to our community members, to our family members of the victims who have been shot, of these little kids, LaDavian, Trinity, and Anaya. The courage that they have shown over this last week has been inspirational in every way, shape, and form. They've both picked themselves up and then rallied community, rallied leaders at City Hall to do better. Every parent should have the ability to send their kid outside to play without the risk of getting hit by gunfire. There should be no concern about jumping up and down on a trampoline without getting shot by a bullet. And when that happens, the community has been exceedingly clear: we need to bring the perpetrators to justice. We can't allow these perpetrators to get refuge in community or in someone's home. They can't have anonymity. They need to be called out. We need our law enforcement partners and community working hand to hand, recognizing that this cannot continue to happen. Enough is enough. And part of what this fund is doing is it helps us to all come together to rally around that common cause of getting justice for the victims of these horrible gun crimes. That's a huge part of what this is doing. I also want to give a big thank you to Nikema Levy-Armstrong, who gave me a call and emphasized the need to quickly move forward with this particular fund. We have sent out a fundraising letter to a number of different foundations and businesses asking for assistance and help. Every one of these kids deserve justice. And that's the direction that we all collectively need to be moving right now. Chief Arredondo.
Thank you, Mayor Frey. I stand today before you. I want to first thank our downtown chamber, our philanthropic community, and our community leaders that have come together to raise these funds to help in this reward, to bring those who are responsible for harming our babies to justice. And I will tell you that we, as the Minneapolis Police Department, we will not stop until we find, locate, and apprehend those who are responsible. LaDavian Jr. and Trinity and our angel, Anaya, who's looking down upon us. I know she's in this space right now as we gather. We are committed, I'm committed to making sure that this does not become our normal, nor should it ever become our normal. Our babies are not disposable. And I want to send a loud message, very clear. There are those in our community who know who's done this. Whether they're staying in your homes, your apartments, whether you're shielding or putting away their guns for them, you are just as complicit. And we're going to come after you. So we need our community to speak up, to stand up. We will not allow this to happen. And we are committed, the men and women of the Minneapolis Police Department, we are committed to standing with our community to keep all of our communities safe. But let me just say this again. There are certain sacred things in our community that should never be breached or never be tainted or broken. When we harm our babies, that is out of bounds. We can never allow that to happen. I also just want to continue to make sure that we as a community, that we as a city, that we wrap our arms around the families of LaDavion and Trinity and Anaya. Not just today and not just in the days and weeks to come, but for a long time and forever, because they're going to need our love and support as they try to heal and move through this here. And so at this time, I want to bring up the family members of our angels right now.
Every day we wake up, it starts over again. The pain, the hurt, it starts over and over again. It's a terrible thing to have to feel. Something you can't just turn off. Something you just can't wrap a Band-Aid around and call it okay. This is not that. This is not at all that. This is real pain. This is real hurt. These kids are real people. Real, living, breathing people that was hurt and unfortunately taken away from us senselessly. It's wrong. It's wrong. Morally, it's doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. But we just want to lead with love for our children, for our babies. We're up here standing in strength, in prayer, and love for these children, and it's not going to end. It's not going to end. We're going to stand together for as long as it takes. As long as my knees can take it, I'm going to stand up for our babies. And I hope that you all do the same. Join us in our peace walk today. Join us in the days to come. We pray every day at 6 o'clock for all of these babies. If you can't make it, please pray where you're at. Please. That's all we ask of you. Please. We need it. We absolutely need it right now. Thank you.
I don't know if I have much to say here, other than there's so many people to thank. Goes across the board. The wonderful people at Shiloh Temple, Jerry McAfee. We need more police on the street. There's no doubt in my mind. I need the city council to step up here. We can walk and chew gum at the same time. We need police reform. There's no doubt about it. Black Lives Matter. I can't even, oh my Lord. But we need more police on the street now. My heart goes out to this man, LaDavion's family, our family. I want to thank everybody for their prayers, everybody at the hospital, the prayers that have gone around the world. We needed this to end. We've got to step up here. We're out there on Friday night. People are coming to the memorial across from North Memorial. People are hearing shots down on Broadway. As we're there on Friday night, we hear pop, 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 right down on Broadway. You don't think something needs to be stepped up now? We need people there now. I don't want anybody else to get hurt. I'm praying for all these families, but you know what? I'm praying for the next people too. It continues. Downtown. Pick a spot. It's got to stop. We're praying for peace. We're praying for everybody in Minneapolis. Minneapolis needs to step up. We need to unite as one. I thank you. Thank you, thank you. Put some words.
You got it, bro.
Thank you, everybody.
It's okay, man.
My heart goes out to you. Same, bro. Your families.
Same, bro. Same.
Chief said enough already. When our 10-year-old was shot, I said, enough already. Then an 8-year-old was shot. And I said, way more than enough already. I went to do the story after an 8-year-old was shot on the trampoline. And I posted up the story. It keeps crossing my mind. And the last thing I said was a prayer that none of our children in our community get shot today, which was that day. And a couple hours later, my daughter texted, missed her calls, texted me saying, Daddy, get to the hospital. They shot Anaya in the head. And I thought I was dreaming. There's no way that could have happened. And I can't think of nothing wrong that I've done here. I've done everything. Chief knows it. John, I've been right there by you guys' side. Any family, I tried my best to do everything, help kids get out of gangs, homeless, prostitute, you name anything where people was hurting and needed some help. I was there. I did never ask for anything monetary. I just wanted to help them. I came from the streets. I understand the pain in the community. I understand poverty, all of this coming from Chicago. I just wanted to be somebody that represented hope, that there's still hope. If you just step out of one square where the suffering is and get into a square where hope is and a new beginning can start for you, that's all I came here to do. You who did this to our babies. When I stepped on the line, that front line 18 years ago, I was saying, take me, don't take them. I'm willing to give my life if it's gonna bring forth change. I would have took 10 of those bullets that they gave to our babies. But my baby, this was one of the future leaders. I know it because I was raising her that way. Her 6 years on this earth, she was with a grandfather who you guys seen me doing her whole life. Hurt, angry, and it's really what hurts me is that I probably helped your families who did this to us. How can you do this? How can you be heartless like this? Chief said some of your families know who did this. You harbor them. Come on, look at us. Mentored your children, your teenage children. I've got kids off the streets and got them into school and they've graduated and went on. This is me. Every day. It's too many days. I'm quite sure I'm speaking for them. It's been way too many days. Yes, enough is enough, but now it's far too long. It's been too many days and they're still out here. Not only do we want justice for our babies, we don't want these people out here to shoot somebody else's babies. It'll be another press conference because another family will be standing up here with us. I don't understand community. Are you seeing and feeling it and hearing us? I'm not asking anymore. I'm begging. I'm begging and I'm willing to get down on my knees. Thank you for the funds that was raised. You can have everything I have and I'll be just with my underwear on the corner with our pictures, butt naked. I don't care about anything monetary or material anymore. You can have it all. I just want us to have some justice. For me right now, some closure and justice. Begging, not asking. For all of us, not just me, because we're in this together. It's sad that tragedies bring people together, but it happened and now we're together. And guess what? We'll forget. As long as I'm alive, we'll be together.
Let's do it.
So I'm begging you, if you know something, yes, there's a reward out, but guess what? We shouldn't have to give no reward for somebody who shot babies. Can have that. That money is not gonna bring back my granddaughter. It's not gonna fix their hearts that have been broken and crushed. These are children who are loved, innocent children are loved.
Yes, they are.
This little girl loved everybody. Everybody. Real quickly, her cousins, they would aggravate her, do stuff to her. We'd say, Diane, what happened? She would even tell on them. Got me in so much trouble because I would give her everything she wanted. I'd give her my daughter's snacks and her grandma's snacks, and I would get in trouble. She was so precious. I took somebody precious from me. I would be out on the street right now if you were standing here trying to help find who did something to your loved ones. You know that. Don't turn your head from that. Find something in your heart and say, you know what, enough. Chief started out with saying enough. You that did this should say, you know what, enough. I need to just make things right with God, with this family, and take whatever punishment I need to take for what happened here. Because right now, I go from hurt to anger. Hurt to anger. And each day is another day that you still out there and you're not right here in our minds and our hearts letting us know that, okay, these people will not hurt any other children again or anyone else. So I'm begging again, please, if you know who these people are, please contact me, this family, or the Minneapolis police. Please, please,
Amen.
please, please, I'm begging you.
Please.
Nakima?
Good afternoon. My name is Nakima Levy-Armstrong. I'm a civil rights attorney, activist, and the executive director of Wayfinder Foundation. I'm here to stand in solidarity with these families who are hurting, who are demanding justice and accountability and answers, who are asking our city leaders and our law enforcement to continue to approach this situation with a greater sense of urgency to find out who did this. As an activist who stands against police violence and who has been out on the streets with families who have suffered at the hands of the police, I am also a North Minneapolis resident, a family member, a mother of a 3-year-old daughter, along with other children as well. And I see firsthand what is happening in our community. It's been happening for a long time. Families have been crying out for justice for a long time, for an end to police violence as well as community violence. We will not tolerate either one in our community. So if parents know who did this, if it was your child, please have your child turn themselves in. If you know that it was someone who lives in your community, please have them turn themselves in. We will not protect killers of children, people who shoot children, people who are randomly engaged in violence in our community. We just saw that 10 people were shot downtown over the weekend, which is completely unacceptable. It is time for a paradigm shift and for our community to feel safe. And we have to complement our talks about safety with making sure that there are robust job opportunities for our young people, particularly our children, many of whom who have suffered as a result of the pandemic, who've been out in the streets doing things that they should not be doing. They need access to opportunity so that they will have a different path and they will focus on community building. Additionally, I think that it's important that in the midst of what we are facing in our community, it is important to not demonize an entire community because of the conduct of a small number of people. As a community, we have to continue to come together. We have to continue to advocate for what we want, just as people in the community came forward with the idea for the reward for information, and that is what I brought to Mayor Jacob Fry and to Chief Arredondo. Those recommendations came from the community because people want to know who did this. They want to feel safe. They want their children to be able to play in their backyards. They want to feel at peace, just as some people feel in other parts of the city that are much more affluent. So as a philanthropic leader in this community, I am calling upon the heads of philanthropic organizations to contribute to this fund immediately, to match the funds that are in there. Most of the philanthropic organizations have multi-million-dollar budgets. What is $10,000 to contribute towards this fund when you have millions upon millions of dollars stored away? We are asking those philanthropic organizations to partner with our community and those folks who are out there like KG Wilson, who are boots on the ground as a volunteer doing this work to uplift the community and to provide peace, and talking to our young people, and at the same time not having much tangible to offer because there's a lack of opportunity for our young people. So please, the philanthropic community, step up to the plate and use your resources to aid in this situation. And finally, my condolences go out to the families of LaDavion, Trinity, and of course Anaya. I've known KG Wilson for a very long time, and this hits home. To see what happened to these children, to be at the vigils and to hear the pain from the family members and even the community members who didn't know these children who are suffering as a result of what happened. This needs to end, and I hope that the people who are watching this will take note and they will do the right thing and turn in those who are responsible for shooting these children. And I hope that people in the community who have guns, who've been engaged in senseless violence, would put down their guns and pick up their hearts and truly be a part of our community. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Steve Kramer. I'm the president and CEO of the Minneapolis Downtown Council, and I want to thank Jonathan and the Regional Chamber for championing this initiative. It's been gratifying to see the incredible response from our members, and I know that that fund will grow further based on the appeal from the mayor and Nikema. And I think that response demonstrates that in no way has our community become inured to the spate of gun violence that we have seen and that has reached tragically children who are just being kids. We also saw this weekend, as others have mentioned, continued mayhem and death on our streets, including in downtown. So we really can't afford to become inured. There are a small number of people who believe they can act with impunity, and we need to rise up as a community and demonstrate that that's not true, because those actions do have consequences, and we're seeing those on full display here today. So I know for myself and for Jonathan and other donors to this fund, our fervent hope is that this fund will help lead to justice for these families, and that in turn will bring a small measure of peace and healing to our community. Our community has a great deal of healing to do. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is John Elder. I'm on the board of directors for Crime Stoppers of Minnesota. Crime Stoppers is an organization that is separate and has no ties with law enforcement. It was understood early on that some people wanted to provide information to law enforcement in cases, but didn't want to become identified and didn't want to be dealing with law enforcement directly on that. Crime Stoppers was born out of that, and people are able to give information to Crime Stoppers, and it is wholly anonymous. There is no way for law enforcement to be able to identify who that person is. Information that gets sent in is scrubbed electronically before it even gets to Crime Stoppers. So the folks at Crime Stoppers don't even know who's providing these tips. And yet people are able to receive financial rewards if they provide information that is leading to an arrest and a conviction in a case. The tipster is given a number, an ID number. That ID number is assigned to a case, and all communications with Crime Stoppers is done through that identification number. Again, Crime Stoppers doesn't know who's leaving the tips, and law enforcement has no possible way of knowing. So we ask people to remember, crime doesn't pay, but Crime Stoppers does, and we would like to have people come forward with tips on this case. Thank you.
I think with that, we would open it up to any questions that you may have for the mayor, for John Elder, or others.
KG Wilson, KG WILSON.
My name is Rayshawn, RAISHAWN.
And I'm Randy Ottoson, OTTOSON.
So the question was, what specifics can we provide in terms of the relief that we're going to be getting throughout our city in terms of public safety? And as you know, the chief and I, alongside community, rolled out a plan this last Monday. It was a comprehensive plan on both public safety as well as accountability. Some of the actions were in the immediacy. Others were midterm through allocations from the Rescue Act. And then some of them were a bit longer term as well. In the immediacy, we have requested mutual aid assistance from a number of different jurisdictions. We did receive some support last night from state troopers, and we're hopeful that that support will continue as well. In terms of investigative assistance, we've been working with the Bureau of Criminal Apprehension, and I believe the chief has been working with a number of federal partners as well that he can identify. And, you know, the whole point is to, yes, uplift some of the capacity that we have within our MPD, because, yeah, previously we've had to divert some resources simply to respond to 911 calls. But it also means that we have the additional ability to work with the community members that are on the ground. You know, people like KG, people like Reverend McAfee that have been doing the work to orchestrate a plan and a multi-block strategy to make sure that we have the collective resources to keep people safe through this difficult time. That has to be a paramount concern. Safety has to be a priority within the city. And given some of the attrition that we've seen over this last year, these additional resources are going to be really, really critical. In the midterm, we have, as I mentioned, some more monies that are going to be coming in through the Rescue Act. Those monies can go to everything from community-based groups to this NERC organization that has set up, I think, a really brilliant plan around community safety and a nice pipeline for recruitment into our police department. It's for things like cameras and technology to make sure that we have the necessary investigative resources to find the perpetrators of this gun violence. And then there's, of course, some longer-term efforts as well, and I can turn it over to the chief to provide a little bit more detail.
So, as Mayor Fry indicated, we have coordinated plans to address the violence specifically. We are working closely with our federal partners. We also understand that there are bad actors out there that know that when you're charged with a felon in possession of a handgun, that carries a very stiff and very significant penalty. We're going to continue to work with our mutual aid partners and make sure that we are giving as much coverage to our city as possible to deal with the condition of violence. But I also want to say that As we have a condition of violence right now that we are addressing in our city, Mr. Rayshawn, can I see that for a second? We also have a condition of the heart. And I want to be very clear. There is no reason why Minister KG, Mr. Rayshawn, Grandfather Otteson should have to go to bed one more night without someone out there in our community who knows the perpetrators who are harming our angels. They've got to turn themselves in. I will work diligently, and my men and women will continue to rush into harm's way to keep our community safe and deal with the condition of violence. But we have a condition of heart in our city and our communities that we must address, and that takes all of us. But these families should not have to go another night without knowing that we've got the persons responsible for harming our babies, because they're all of our children.
That's right.
I'm sorry for coming late. Are you getting help from, I know there's a lot of questions, maybe you already guys addressed it, about snitching, about not wanting to tell on another person for fear of retaliation. Is that shifting at all? Are you getting any kind of movement with people being more apt to come forward?
I think that the best way for us to get that information is for people to understand the relationships. I will tell you that Minister KG has been out here in these streets for decades. As he said, some of the people that have probably harmed these babies of ours, he's helped. I'm almost sure he's helped. How could you do that to someone like a Minister KG? Mr. Rayshawn shouldn't have to go another hour of knowing that no one is responsible right now for his dear daughter's death. And we don't want to forget little young LaDavion. I'm sorry, Anaya, but Trinity. And so they need to know that those people are being held responsible. And so that may mean someone saying, you know what, I know Minister KG, he is a good man. I know Mr. Rayshawn, I know where that gun is at. I know who was driving that car, and they call in and they let us know. And by the way, you don't have to call me. You can call the Crime Stoppers number, what have you. But we just need people. Call your minister. Absolutely. But people have got to step up. Yeah. What I can tell you in terms of the integrity of the investigation, not to compromise that, our detectives are working around the clock and have been and will continue to be. The reason why we took on this oath is because of those angels. And so they're going to continue to work around the clock until we get justice.
It's the anniversary of George Floyd. There are people in town, celebration of life, how far we've come, what trauma this city has been through. How hard is that to have this dark cloud of, last Saturday that 10 people shot, 2 of them died, 1 bystander that was going to graduate. It sort of feels like like 2 different worlds. You're trying to talk about a man and what we've learned from his tragic murder. So
Miss Nakima, I think she said it best when this is not indicative of our entire Minneapolis community. It's not. The overwhelming majority of our community are good people. They're good neighbors. They care about children. They look after our elders. But it's this core small group that, for whatever reason, over the past year, their narrative has been lifted and the majority has not been. And so we need to bring those voices back up. We're hearing that. We're seeing that today. Our civic leaders, I can't tell you how much, Mr. Jonathan and Mr. Steve Kramer, they've always been with us through the years, not just what has occurred recently. And so we just need to make sure that those voices are elevated. But it's not, I want to make it clear, it's not reflective of our entire city. But that's why we continue to have hope and optimism that we are going to get justice for our family members. And I strongly know that and believe that.
You want to share your thoughts too, Mayor, about that same kind of idea? And I'm sorry to
A couple pieces. First, to your previous question, the Crime Stoppers hotline is entirely anonymous, and there's no way of tracking who submitted the intelligence. So that's a really important piece. And the second part, and Nakima mentioned this earlier, we all need to have the courage to stand up against violence in all forms, whether that's community-based, gang-based, police-based. Regardless, violence is wrong. And we collectively as a city need to have the courage of our conviction to say that little children shouldn't get shot. And by the way, that shouldn't take much courage. It is a basic piece of humanity to recognize that when a family is grieving like this, that we need to step up and help. It is a basic piece of humanity to recognize that neighborhoods shouldn't be concerned about gun violence, that little kids should be able to play outside without the risk of getting hit by a bullet. Housing is an equity issue. Food justice is an equity issue. Jobs are an equity issue. Safety in neighborhoods are also an equity issue. People in every single neighborhood of our city deserve to feel safe. And by the way, we can't disregard it depending on what quarter of this city that violence comes from. We have an obligation to step up right now. What you see community doing is exactly that.
Can I ask one follow-up? So what can people in southwestern Minneapolis do? What can people in northeast do? What can people in southeast do? Is it the kind of thing that you want this town to come together on this? Could people volunteer?
Mayor, can I say something?
Yeah, I would love for you. Yeah.
Can you come up,
Schedule.
Kate?
Show up in numbers. There's something about numbers. Sometimes you have to have people come from somewhere else that don't live there to show up in numbers of support, to let a community know. I've seen in the past people come from everywhere, even all over the world, recently, on buses, trains, planes, fly here in numbers, shut down, blocks shut down, I've seen this. So yes, you that live somewhere else, if you feel in your heart that these angels just touch your heart, that there should be some justice, we got some small blocks over here that 200, 300, 400, 500 people can shut down. See? And if there's criminal behavior that's continued to go on, and people are trying to make money on the street money or whatever, guarantee you, if you shut that down, somebody is going to talk. Because now you're messing with their money. So they're going to give up something to keep their money. A lot of them got a little money right now. It's not about, some of them might make $30,000 on the street selling drugs. They might make that in a week. It's not about that. Yes, they can do something. I'm letting you know you can come in town and help. Did you say there was another march?
There's a march today.
There's a march today.
The march is from Penn and Lowry to North Memorial Hospital. It starts at 2 o'clock. We end at 4 o'clock, and we're praying at North Memorial across the street every single day from 6 to at least 10 o'clock.
Come show up.
Every single
It's
day.
time to shut it down. I'm telling you, I'm tired. I know they are. I'm tired. Every day I got to wake up, and I haven't got this call yet. Every day I go to sleep and I dream, and I'm hoping that, okay, I just dreamed this, and I wake up and it's real. It's still here. Yes, they can help. Lastly, a lot of the community probably don't understand a certain vocabulary that we use. There is a trust issue. There's a lot of people who know things, but they're afraid to talk. They're afraid because they don't trust. They think that it might get back. So I need to reiterate in my close is that they let you know that this is Crime Stoppers. Crime Stoppers. Your name, none of that is going to be out in the public or nothing. Nothing is going to happen that way. We just need your information. We don't know who you is. We don't care who you is. None of that. We need the information that you have. I'm standing up here. We're standing up here today saying this to you. I pray that you don't be standing up here saying this to the community tomorrow because you didn't want to tell somebody what you knew.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.